Hello everyone. I am in the process of making a large 10-quart pot of vegetable soup. And here I have my ingredients. This is garlic, peppers, and jalapenos and onions. I will be sauteing these in the skillet because I think it just locks in the flavor. At least I tell myself that anyway. The things that I'm going to be putting in first that takes longer to cook are the carrots. And I didn't measure. This is probably maybe a cup and a half or 2 cups. And I have some cut up celery here. I'm sure this is at least 2 cups of celery. And I have cabbage. And this is probably a couple of cups, at least a couple of cups of cabbage. These items I will be putting in first. And the tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put those in also. But now I have zucchini that I am going to steam and let it get almost done, not quite. I'll put that in last. And I have okra, and it's nice and tender. I can just chew it, and it's raw. I will be putting this in maybe about a good 30 or 40 minutes before the final cooking of the soup is ready. So I will be back. I forgot I wanted to add to that. I have my tomato sauce and quite a bit of water already in here. So with that said, I will be getting started. All right, I am back and ready to add my seasonings. Here I have 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. Here I have 1 tablespoon of cumin. I have 1 teaspoon of thyme. And here I have a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And here I have, see what this is. I have a teaspoon of savory and a teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm going to go ahead and put my cut okra in here now because it's about that time. I always add my salt last. And I had some okra left over that I didn't want to cut up, so I steamed it and now it's cooling. I'm going to bag it up and put that in the freezer. And this is quite a bit of zucchini here. I don't know if I'm going to put all that in, but it's ready. But I'm going to wait until I'm just about ready to turn it off because I steamed it. It's not really too done, but it's done enough. Maybe 10 minutes before I turn it off. And then I'll add my salt to it just before that. So give you a look at what it's looking like now. Yummy. And I'm going to go ahead and bag up this okra, get it ready for the freezer because it's cooled now. It's all cooled down. And I thought about making some cornbread, but I think we'll just have crackers with it. And maybe I'll probably make some cornbread tomorrow. But I like to put my seasonings in. I actually should have put those seasonings in a little bit earlier, but I decided that I would wait a little bit. I kind of got involved in doing other things while I was preparing this. So I do have a little bit more juice to put in. I think it needs it too. Because by the time I put that zucchini in, that's going to make for a very full pot. All right, I will return. Okay, I am back, and I am going to go ahead and put this okra in a bag. This makes it so much easier when I get ready to use it for something. Even when it's frozen, I'll let it thaw out just enough to be able to cut through it. And that works really well if I want to cut it. Sometimes I'll just leave it whole, especially if I'm going to put it in something like black eyed peas or lentils. I like my okra to be whole in that. But if I want to make okra tomatoes, of course, then I need to cut it. And so I just let it sit out enough, just enough to get the knife through it, and then I'll cut it. Because I think if you cut it when it's too soft, you'll probably lose a lot of the slime, and that's the best part, actually. A lot of people don't like okra because of that. But I grew up eating it, so I'm very used to it. And I know that slime is beneficial to you too, because it's just like a mild laxative. It will work you out. Not harshly, but very nicely. I see that was just enough okra for a quart freezer bag. Take the air out. See? I don't even have to worry about putting the date on it because I know what it is and I'm going to use it up fast anyway. I usually do. This okra is expensive. I bought 3 containers and that was $15 worth of okra. And it's probably not even that much in one container. But okra is kind of hard to come by in this part of the United States because it's so cold and okra needs a hot climate to grow in. The last time I bought okra, before this, it was from Nicaragua. But I noticed this time Walmart had some from the United States. It didn't say where, but the United States. So I think this is going to be enough. I'm going to save a little bit of that. This is going to be plenty to put in that soup because this pot is getting pretty full. See that? That's a 10-quart pot and it's got a little bit of everything in it. And I don't want to put the squash in until almost just about when I turn it off because it's cooked enough to where the heat from the soup will do enough to it. And I'll just stick this in the freezer, and it will be ready for another time. I really like having things frozen because it sure saves a lot of time when I'm in a hurry and want to make a decent meal. I love you. Have a good evening at work. Yeah. I will return. All right, I am back. That was my son getting ready to go to work. And I have that all bagged up and ready to go in the freezer with the okra. If you have free time to get things prepped like this, it's so much easier if you want to make a nice meal and don't have time, especially people that work outside of home. I don't work outside of home anymore, I just work in here. I do keep my granddaughters, my great-granddaughters on the weekend. They're coming today. They come from, I usually have them from Wednesday until Sunday evening. And they are a wild bunch. They are super hyperactive. 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. They're turning flips and talking and dancing. But they're good kids. They're just active, which is good. I can't say anything wrong about that. All right, I will return in a little bit. Alrighty, here I am again. And I am ready to turn this off. And I'm going to add my squash to it. All it really needs to do is just sit in this hot liquid and it will be just fine. This is zucchini and yellow squash that I have here. So now it's off and I will let it sit here. It's going to take quite a while before it cools down. I'll probably get up in the middle of the night. I think I will, not right now, but later, put it in some cold water in the sink, the pot. That will help it to cool. Because later, I will be able to put it in the refrigerator. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, please. And thank you. And share, like, and be sure and hit the notification bell so that you will know when I'm back again in the kitchen with another recipe. I'm trying to keep them a little bit shorter now so that it won't be so boring to look at something so long. So you all have a lovely evening or whatever it is, wherever you are. Peace and love. Later.